So here we have the entrance to the backyard. That's Jasmine, also known as Wiener. And so the backyard is very close to being done. I need a little hardscape here to match the hardscape there. That's not that much work. And I need to move a plant a plant. But most everything has been planted that's going to be planted. There's going to be one other plant, mass planting in here, but that's it. So there's a drain that comes down here, gutter drain. And when I first moved in, water would flow here and was really streaming across the yard. Like it made a stream whenever the rains came. So I put 2 5-gallon buckets of, I don't know how big that is, 1/4 inch river rock, I think. That's larger than that. Half inch maybe, river rock. Anyway, I got some river rock and put in there. And I also needed to put my irrigation underneath the sidewalk. So I covered the hole that I dug and everything with this river rock, which doesn't really cause it to drain, but what it does do is it causes the water to slow down. So all of a sudden the water is moving very slowly through here instead of just whoosh, moving on through here. Also, there's a drain under the sidewalk. It goes from here over to there. And that was a lot of work. I did that so that I can install irrigation on the outside. You can see the irrigation pipe right there, pops up from right there. Garbage compost, there's our compost pile. Working compost pile is totally depleted. It's into March and I've been planting since January. So it's totally pretty much depleted right now. That's where I'm keeping the granite sand, but let's get back to the plants. So, got some spider wort here. This was a gift. I got one as a gift, and then once I realized what it was, I noticed that there were 2 other volunteers in the yard, so I brought both of them back here too. And you can see that, like, I don't even understand, just gnawing on the ryegrass. I don't understand why dogs do that. Back to the plants, you can see the spider. Now, the way I got all this is I took these last year, because it was a first-year plant last year, this is second year, and I moved back the mulch, like, right before it rained, and I put the seeds there, and then I covered them back with mulch, about 1 inch of mulch, and you can see how they came up. I mean, it just came up everywhere I put the seeds. They came up. It's pretty crazy how well they came up. So I wanted plants in here that are going to compete with each other, and I know that something that is going to be really hard to bully is Turk's Cap once it gets established. This is a different variety of Turk's Cap. The Turk's Cap that I have always gotten in my nurseries that I visit is different than this. This came from the Houston house. And these were all grown from seeds. They were grown here, but they're seeds from the Houston house. So all of these are a different variety of Turk's Cap. There are other Turk's Cap over there, but they are 2 yards away. There are no other Turk's Cap that I know of over here. So I don't know if these will look different in Central Texas. I do have something to compare them to, because the ones in Houston are already up, and the ones in Houston look a lot better than these right now. But this was just a seed last year, right? Like this one in particular was doing really bad last year, and it's got a little bit of new growth. So it's only March. Let's see how it goes. But what I want in here is just a couple of things to compete with each other. The spider wort will eventually, kind of die down, and the Turk's Cap will take over. So I want something over here, which I thought was going to be tropical sage, the tropical Salvia coccinea. But again, the Salvia coccinea just hasn't come back. I must have put, 100 seeds over here. They grow really well when I put them as plants, but when I put the seeds here, they don't. And that includes moving the mulch back, putting the seed down, moving the mulch over. It also includes sprinkling the seeds on top. I've done a lot of different things short of planting a plant here. I'm trying to get them to grow from seed. If they won't come back from seed, then I'm not interested in having them here. So you can see Sabal minor, one of my favorites, another Sabal minor. I definitely am going to get more of all of those. I really, really like the form and shape of that plant. So I think I'm going to get more Sabal minors up in here. I'm going to leave the one here as sort of a contrast to draw your eye back and forth. And these are bicolored iris. Again, things that didn't work. I'm taking these to Houston. They've not worked here. They're not in a lot of sun, especially this one. He might get 2 hours of sun a day. This one over here might get 5 hours of sun a day, maybe. It doesn't matter. They both die. So I'm out with the bicolored iris. I got to take them to Houston. I think they need more water. So you can kind of see the Turk's cap pattern from here that I did, all up in here. And then some more Turk's cap over here. And Aztec grass. The Aztec grass really doesn't like our sun. So you can see where the 4 of them, take that rye out real quick. You can see where the 4 of them are doing really well because the sun just comes like that. So what I need to do is take this 5th one out and just crowd it in there so I have a bunch of them. The goal was just to hide this thing right here. So, yeah, I need to just crowd it in there and hide those. But this is the irrigation system that comes from over there. There's a video of me installing it. You know, for you pros out there who think this might not look very good or whatever, this has been maintenance free for 3 years. I haven't had to do any maintenance on any of this. So far so good. Irrigation goes back this way. There's 2 pipes that go out this way. One pipe feeds this bed over here, and then another pipe goes this way to feed the blackberries out there. Now, you notice that some of these plants in here are tropical. My wife wanted, for this bed right here, I just let my wife design, or tell me what she wanted, I designed it. She wanted a tropical look. And so that to me means lush undergrowth with flowers. And I think of big red sage when I think of that. They got these rosettes. Like, remember, it's March, right? These rosettes made it through the winter. Sometimes they die back, but these ones made it through the winter. And they are so thick that they're going to help me combat the Bermuda grass, which is the theme for 2019. Got another one here. Another one here. They're going to get, each one of them is going to get this big, right? Whoa, that's big. So, going to have it here covered. Going to have it here covered. Here covered, because there's one right here. I did not transplant that one. It's coming out. Got one here covered. And here. So, this whole area is going to be covered with these things, which is great. Duranta never liked it here. It would come out, but it never would bloom. Never bloomed until, maybe for 2 weeks, and even then it was very slight blooms. So I'm taking the Duranta from here and I'm moving it over to there. It's going to be able to get that sun. So I'm actually going to put it right here, right there, so you can see it's going to be able to get that sun. And then over here I'll probably put more palmetto, more Sabal minors. I really do like that form, and I would like to get some big ones right in here. So Sabal minor is very tropical. The big lush leaves of the Swiss chard, you can see the bright lights, the red and the yellows back there. These are in earth boxes. This is a hydroponic box. It's a hydroponic outdoor box. And these are Texas Star hibiscus. Because I've got irrigation coming to this bed, I just ran a line through here and I can put tropical plants in here. So these are hibiscus. They're going to get watered every time my tomatoes do, which is exactly what they want. This is amaryllis. The amaryllis has a nice thick leaf and it's supposed to be a good contrast, but it's just too sparse. There's like one of them here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy, which is obviously 3, and I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to mass these together right in this area so that they're more impressive when they bloom. Because right now it's one flower here, one flower there. I'd like there to be 17 of them. They don't bloom very long. They only bloom for about 2 weeks, and so I really want to show them. This is Greg's mist flower. This area was dominated with Bermuda. Now look at it. Greg's mist flower has evicted the Bermuda. So I'm going to help it. This is going to be, I'm going to take cuttings and I'm going to spread them. Spread one here, take cutting, put it there, take cutting, put it here. But I'm also going to put in sweet potatoes, because I think the sweet potato leaf in against this leaf would be a nice big contrast. And they'll grow native here too. I have to excuse my voice today. The allergies have got me. There's pollens all in the air. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but there's so many I can see them going through the air. Cherokee purple tomatoes. These are the kind that my kids will just eat. They say they taste like butter. Another Cherokee purple. Another Cherokee purple. So last year I planted these two. And so that's how I'm just doing crop rotation. I'm giving these 2 a year off. They're just spacing for next year. So they're just adding spacing. So this year I have 3. Next year I'll just have 2. 2's enough. And I could even, if I need to, I could have one in one of these. You'll notice the pots are on different ends. And you can see the sun, right? So it's about 10:15 in the morning. And so it's getting good morning sun there. This gets early morning sun and then gets shut off until about 11, 10:30, 11. But this gets sun up until about noon. And it gets cut off, which means my Swiss chard will make it through the summer. So this Swiss chard here is going to have to go. It gets too much sun here. It gets about an extra 2 hours of sun here versus there. So this Swiss chard has to go, but these Swiss chards will make it through the summer, so I'll have some leafy greens. And I think that's all I got back here. Right there. So right here, I extended my vegetable garden. It doesn't look like it because I've got natives in here now, but I'll put vegetables in here too with them. So this is mint, and I'll use mint in my smoothies. This is an extra big red sage that wasn't doing very well. He's just living in there until he gets better so I can transplant him. He was almost dead. You can kind of see that leaf is still kind of curled up. He's coming back, so I don't know, here in about a month, I'll put him in the ground. But what's going to go in here is peppers and basil, oregano. So this is going to be like an herb garden. So it's an extension of the garden, and you can see the irrigation system runs in there. Yeah, those are really super large shrubs, and they were here when I got here. I have not trimmed them except to keep the vines off, and if there's dead branches and whatever, I have not watered them. It's all xeric back here. The yard is all different grasses, but it's grasses that work for their shade, for their sun requirement. So over here we have horse herb and sedges. I'm about to show you a great sedge garden. And over here we have Bermuda St. Augustine. The St. Augustine gets no water. I don't water the St. Augustine, never have. But the St. Augustine grows in the shade. This area over here is very heavily shaded by this huge oak tree. And so there's just a little patch of St. Augustine, like hardly any. But there is a little bit of St. Augustine over here. Again, no water. It's all ryegrass right now. It's very big. It's March. It's still growing. It's very patchy. But it's all green. And it's different. It's not a homogeneous lawn. This is awesome over here at Sedge Garden. So the sedges are seeding, and I'm going to let them seed before I cut them. You can see the seeds here. Started off back here, you can see the videos. There were like 20 sedges. Once these seeds are ready, I'll get a handful and spread them. And you can see how they grow. I'll cut these once this year. Just once. Maybe twice if I just feel I need to. They only require me cutting them once. They don't grow that much. They only put on a lot of growth right now when they seed. You cut them and they just sit there at the length you put them. And look how green it is. They require no water. This is shade. This is deep shade. You can see all the stuff that's not working back here. Jasmine. The only stuff that does work back here is horse herb, and even it's patchy. So this is a necessary area for something like this. Sedges, rather. Sedge garden.